Okay, so we're gonna do a bad quarterback draft to commemorate how bad today was.
And you said this, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy, and it is not easy. This is tough.
So we're gonna stick with we're gonna do 5 players. We'll go back and forth. You can have first pick, and we're gonna each have 5 guys. Who is your first pick of the October 29th, 2023 bad quarterback draft of guys we watched today?
I just need. I don't need clarification for this first pick, but every pick after I'm going to need. It's tough. Is this who you don't like? If this guy can't lead your team to a field goal, your family gets tied up and tossed into the Pacific Ocean. Like, how are we ranking these? Because I wouldn't draft any of them on my team.
No, we're going from worse to less worse.
All right, Tommy.
It's got to be the sense of hopelessness. Yeah. For if you're rooting for the team or if you bet on the team and it's 3rd and 6, how hopeless you feel. So you're going Tommy DeVito first.
I have to. I think it's unfair that you gave me the first pick. This is like the Adrian Peterson years, the Marshall Faulk years of a draft when it's like we should really do an auction draft because Tommy DeVito can't throw a forward pass. So, which I feel is important in 2023. He could throw like a screen and he could hand off, but I have no confidence that he could get your team downfield. He can't throw a forward pass. I'm probably going to get whacked for saying that, but Tommy DeVito is my pick.
So the Giants passing now it was terrible weather, but the Giants passing today, they were 6 for 14 for -9 yards, it says. And Tommy DeVito was 2 for 7 for -1. He got sacked twice. I actually thought like that was some sort of accident or like the ESPN.com thing stalled, but those were the actual stats. And this was an overtime game, which was even better. He played at least, I don't know, 2.5 quarters. And they were just like, Tommy, you're not like at some point, if you're just not going to have him throw it all, like why not have Saquon Barkley just be the quarterback? Just
wild carded with Barkley. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what Dayball, and I did predict a very few good predictions that come to fruition. The fans would turn on Dayball, and I guess we'll get more into that game, but we'll stick with the draft for now. Yeah, Tommy DeVito is the first pick. Now you get 2. We're doing snake.
Oh, you want to go snake fashion? That's it.
Well, I just feel bad that I got Tommy DeVito.
Well, we should, because Tommy DeVito is a ridiculous value at number 1. So I'm going to take Trubisky here. I had the Steelers. I was excited about them, especially when the game unfolded where, it was just classic Steelers. They were somehow in the game. It was 6-3. They had like no first downs and two turnovers recovered. And it was just, it had all the makings. And then Pickett gets hurt and Trubisky comes in. And I can just tell you how crestfallen I was when I saw him.
Really?
He throws it up for grabs.
Yeah.
Like the one thing we said about Trubisky in the past was if he doesn't know he's playing, sometimes he's okay. Not the case today. Not the case. Right. Now there were some bad calls and the Pittsburgh was mad about after, but I've just completely given up on him. I don't know what he does well. I don't think he knows what he does well. They don't really know. He's not like he's not Josh Allen anymore. He doesn't scramble out to the sides or anything. He just is kind of this terrible pocket passer. So he's my first pick. Okay. And then I have to take this Jaron Hall that came in for Cousins. Who is that guy? Where did he come from?
It's almost unfair.
4-4.
Yeah.
Is he the starter now?
No, they gotta. No, but I mean, don't you get if this was a course, wouldn't you give him an NA? I mean, he was 3 for 4 for 23 yards. I know his QBR could need some work, like a 4.3 or whatever, but no, they can't stick with him. You're right to not have any confidence in him.
Who do you have with the 4th pick?
All right. Wow. Boy, there's so many.
A lot of good people left on the board.
I'll go Brett Rippon for one. Not inspiring. As soon as I saw 7.7 QBR came in against the Cowboys, I wasn't scared at all. It's like put Stafford in with the broken hand or whatever he has. He'll do better. It was 5 for 10
comes in when you have the Cowboys defense in fantasy and you're like delighted.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. So do I get another one too? Do I get another one? We're snaking?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. Dorian Thompson-Robinson came in and threw a pass. Does that count? He was 1 for 1.
You can
for
have him.
All right.
You
That's
can take
it.
him.
Okay. All right. He's that. He stinks. This is great. We should do this every week. Instead of ranking MVPs, we talk, it's Mahomes, it's Tua. Like,
right.
no, we should do this.
So you have Dorian Thompson. That was a really ballsy pick. I like it.
Thank you.
Man, Zach Wilson can't go lower than this. I got to have him.
Really?
Even though he threw, I turned that game off. I didn't realize because the Giants had the ball. They were inside the 30. They had a 3-point lead. It was under 2 minutes left and they're running. And I'm just like, oh, this is over. They're going to run out the clock. And then all of a sudden they cut in to the other game that like on the red zone or something. They're like 10-10. And I'm like, I don't even understand how they got it back. So Wilson made one big play, but I still think he's terrible. I mean, he 10 points seems like a miracle with him.
All right, but wait a minute. At least he drove them down to a tying field goal. Anyone you're not picking you think could do that? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's
no, he's Zach there. Wilson. And then
okay,
PJ Walker's my other one.
Okay, not bad.
You know, I want to talk about that Browns game in the next segment, but he had 3 turnovers again.
Yeah,
and he's just not functional. He's a 50% passer. He has bad judgment. There's drop passes with him. He's a little like Dobbs. He can do just enough to fool you into thinking the offense is moving. But if you actually have money on him or you're rooting for him, he's just a nightmare. So he's my pick.
All right, that's fair.
What do you got? You got 2.
Jonnu Smith threw a pass. I won't count that.
You can't. We're not counting.
Okay, he doesn't count. Okay. I get 2. These are my last 2. This will be 5.
Nah, we might go. All right, we might go 6 each.
We can go 2 hours with this.
Yeah,
I got to put Kenny Pickett in there. He stinks. He was 10 for 16 for 73 yards, but through like this in the middle of the second quarter, they had -1 yards total. Like he does this all the time. This is ridiculous. If he doesn't have an average defense, if he has an average defense, he's done. He just, and we say it every week. That's it. I'm sorry.
The problem is he heats up in the last 10 minutes of the game, but he got hurt before he had a chance to heat up. The first play of the game, I think it was Deontay Johnson just wide open over the middle, and it looked like it would have been like a 40-yard pass, and he overthrew him, and Johnson maybe could have hauled it in, but it was just wide. It was just like, oh, this is going to be another Kenny Pickett game.
But I'm telling you, it's redefining system quarterback because this is the only system he could be in. Where the Steelers team, they're playing such good defense, they leave him good field position, and he could maybe put up some points. You wouldn't want him for Mac Jones, right? I mean, I'm not. No.
Well, right. I will say this makes me feel better about how high I took Trubisky because I was actually bummed out when Kenny Pickett came out, and I agree this is the right range for him to get drafted. All right, who's your next one?
I got one more. All right.
I can't believe Mac Jones hasn't gone yet.
Can I take DeVito again? No.
Well, Tyson Bagent's still out there.
Yeah, I think we gave him too much credit. Right. You know what? You take Tyson Bagent. I'm going to take Desmond Ridder. I'm sick of this guy too. I'm going to take another starter. I speak ill of the guy. I think he's in concussion protocol, but 8 for 12 for 71, and that's what the best we're going to get out of him. Had 3 turnovers last week, 3 fumbles, 2 of them inside the 1 inside the 7.
How many turnovers do you have today? 1 or 2?
I think it was just 1 today.
Yeah, he had a bad fumble. Okay. Yeah. All right, so you have Ridder. Yeah. I am taking Tyson Bagent.
Okay.
And I'm taking Mac Jones. And Mac Jones, honestly, this is incredible value. Classic Mac Jones today.
Is he a keeper? Is he a keeper in your bed?
Yeah, you can roll him over. You know, he looked pretty good last week. He sucked all of us into thinking that that Pats game was sitting there for them. I don't know if they could have stolen it, but their defense was really good today.
Yeah.
And they had that PI that they called on Tyreek Hill was just an unbelievable, just a barely touch call. Did not match a lot of the other stuff that happened. Like they missed a helmet to helmet that got Devontae Parker knocked out of the game. But the Pats were hanging around. They're driving at the end. They played the end of the second quarter perfectly, right? It's like Miami's not going to get the ball back. we're either going to get a field goal or we're going to tie the game. They're driving down, and then he throws it right to Jalen Ramsey. And that ball was in the air for 5 seconds. And it was the culmination of a bunch of shaky plays where it just like he loses his, it's like watching a basketball player who can't make a 3-pointer. He just loses his confidence.
It was in the air for 5 seconds. He was throwing 20-yard Hail Marys.
It looked like a helium balloon. He makes 3-4 terrible throws a game. They dropped a couple picks from him today. They were showing wide replays of like him taking sacks, but there would be 2 guys open that he just wasn't throwing to for some reason. Pretty brutal. So anyway, I got Tyson Bagent, Mac Jones. All right, you want one more pick?
Yeah, I'll just take one more. I don't need to do the double here. I don't think it's time for Dobbs. I don't think it's time for Minshew just yet. I mean, it would be easy to say Will Levis, but we could wait 1 week, I think, before he comes back down to earth. I'm going to say Jordan Love. Giving up on Jordan Love, too. 24 for 41, 229. That's the best he's going to do. A 17 QBR, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the year. And it seems much worse. When you watch him play, it just seems much worse than those numbers I just read.
He's gotten worse every week. And I was very enticed potentially to bet on them today, and he was the reason I didn't bet on them. It's not just him, though. That might be the worst coach team in the league now. Yeah. But I think they had 8 penalties in the first half, but they just like they look like they haven't practiced. They're just a mess. And it's not like they don't have talent. I know they lost their left tackle, but they do have, somewhat. It shouldn't be this hard for them to move the ball downfield and score. They're playing the fucking Vikings.
Maybe we do worst coach next week draft.
Oh, worst coach would be really fun. All right, so guys who didn't get picked: Sam Howell, Josh Dobbs, Russell Wilson, Bryce Young, and Will Levis, who shouldn't have been picked because he was really good today. So there we go. All right, Sal's team is DeVito, Jordan Love, Ritter, Rippin, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. You kind of cheated with that one, and Kenny Pickett. And then I have Zach Wilson, PJ Walker, Mac Jones, Tyson Bagent, Trubisky, and Jaron Hall. So we'll have to put those on social, and so we'll have everybody vote and see who has the better bad quarterback team.